Instead of focusing on my education, I decided to put it off by watching anime, but because all of my friends have social lives or jobs and are tired of my yapping, I decided to tell you about the animes I've watched lately, trying not to spoil too much. But before this, subscribe, I do tend to yap a lot and watch a lot of trash. There's been a lot of buzz I've seen recently about the show and I finally decided to binge watch it now that season 1 is done and wow, it was such a good watch. In case you didn't watch Ramparts of Ice, it focuses on the dynamic and lives but also the traumas of 4 people and how they navigate the life of being a teen while also falling in love. They form a group, fall in love with each other and also think the other are in love with each other. It's a weird dynamic. At its core, the show is a mix of romance and drama, but it has extremely complex and likable and well-written characters with really wholesome moments and a good dose of angst and humor in equal measure. It's not very straightforward and things aren't easily solved when problems arise. It has more of a quiet, slow and slightly melancholic tone, especially towards the beginning. It really reminded me a lot of high school. Peak watch maybe 8.5 out of 10. I watched Hell's Paradise season 1 when it first appeared, but I kinda forgot about season 2 and now I finally sat down to remind myself why I loved the first season. I feel like season 2 upped the stakes by 100 by forming different teams and going against each other. Over the top bloodlust and bloody fights, maybe even more than season 1. I feel like it was more enjoyable to binge watch, so for you binge watchers, you'll be eating good. 9 out of 10. But as a side note, is it just me or is the second season of Hell's Paradise flying under the radar? Well, it's actually good. It has insane visuals, really good soundtrack, high stakes, well written plot, but it never reached the popularity of JJK, Demon Slayer or other action animes. Can someone enlighten me why that is? I feel like the show deserves more recognition. The hype for this season's show is insane as this is from the creator of Full Metal Alchemist, another show which I'll admit with shame I haven't watched. Anyways, I think the coolest part of the show is definitely the supernatural part with Daemons that are a mix between Digimons and devils from Chainsaw Man or walking Mahoragas. Their designs are also quite variable, some look like gods, some look like a Pokemon, some look like straight up horrors from your worst nightmare. The plot twists from episode 1 are insane, the characters are alright. I would love to see more interaction between them, but as of now it's quite enjoyable. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10 for now. Let me throw some romance into the mix and I have to say I love the premise of the show and I really enjoyed the start, but then it turned into dog water really quick. Let me quickly tell you why. Sei is summoned to another world with another girl called Eira. Everyone thinks that Eira is the saint while Sei is thrown out and goes off on her journey creating potions and learning about plants. Interesting for now, but the show quickly does a 180 and as soon as Sei and her love interest Albert develop something, people find out she's the saint, she's given a magic teacher to teach her holy magic and is sent on missions. So, in all of her missions is just, she stands, her love interest gets hurt, she cries, unleashes some holy magic, her and Albert get whooped even though she is omnipotent and her magic teacher having to rescue both. She needs 2 people to save her even though, again, she is omnipotent. And people say Sakura was weak and annoying. I watched both seasons for the sake of it, 5 out of 10. I cried. Charlotte is about teenagers with superpowers but only when they are teens. Throughout the series you will see the main character, Otasaka Yu, changing positively, as he was a narcissist and knocked down other peoples for his own good to become a friendly teenager that cares for his friends and others. It starts off as a high school rom-com with supernatural elements, turns into a tragedy anime, and then turns into an alternate dimension anime. The ending seemed super rushed, like the last episode could have fit into like 12 more episodes, almost like they ran out of time or expected to do 24 episodes or something. I think the first half deserves a 9, then goes to a 7, but I have to say I still love it and wish it was longer. On that note, I still have to watch Clannad. Sometimes you watch an anime for the epic fight scenes, sometimes for the laughs, and sometimes just for good old romantic fluff. But this show had all 3. I honestly went in with 0 expectations, just wanted to procrastinate some more, but thinking it'd be another spicy, fanservice heavy series trying to look deep. But no, it's none of that, and it's even funnier that it never takes itself seriously. It's about 2 broken souls, Charlotte, a noble lady who's been cast aside and berated her entire life, and Alan, an overpowered sorcerer who pretty much isolated himself from the world, learning to socialize again. So it's a simple premise. Alan teaches Charlotte about the joys of living, and Charlotte teaches him about living with people and enjoying another's company. Also, there's a magical beaver with a woman form but with the voice of a guy.
いかがですかな?
7.5 out of 10. Gakkougurashi has been on my watch list for years and I've avoided pretty much all spoilers for the show aside from there being a horror twist. While episode 1 shows a magical school full of life, it quickly transforms into a survival horror story about 4 girls trying to live their lives in the zombie apocalypse while also trying to escape and find a better place. It has comedy, drama, horror, and I do think it's more of a psychological series rather than anything else. The plot works perfectly well as a self-contained story whilst also leaving enough hints and mysteries to sell the source material or a second season. Also, a rather nice detail is the OP changing as the series goes on, 7.5 out of 10. It felt like a good paced isekai that felt enjoyable all the way through, especially the ending. Luciel, also known as the masochist zombie healer, starts as a weak healer then goes through the most horrifying training to become stronger due to his wish to not die again. The downside? Because of his training he earns that nickname and his reputation is that of a weirdo. If you're just here to watch people kill monsters then avoid this anime, but if you want a light-hearted comedic show with good character training, then this might be a fit for you. I've laughed a lot while watching this and I definitely recommend it if you want to relax. It's nothing groundbreaking, just a good time, 8 out of 10. I just finished watching the first season of Overlord and man, it was so much fun. I really love that we finally get a story with a reverse perspective as the protagonists are kind of the villains of the story, but they are kinda good. I heard they get worse in the later seasons. It's a power fantasy and it has nice world building. I don't think I have to say a lot since everyone and their mothers watched Overlord, I'm pretty sure. We'll surely watch the other seasons. Ainz is the real aura farmer, 8.5 out of 10. This must be the most insane show out of all of these. One day, a wizard named Riri appeared out of nowhere in front of Anzu, the main character, and deprived her of her 3 daily life necessities: Momohiko, her pet cat, video games, and chocolate, to force her into the situation of actually finding love interest and dating, as her love life was essentially non-existent prior to that. So the plot is just Anzu trying to dodge the typical cliché visual novel events that Riri is setting up by just dressing horribly, headbutting the romance interests, and trying to be anti-romance. Also, the romance interests are a guy that appears cold but is really nice, the childhood best friend, a rich narcissistic guy, and a special surprise, no spoilers. 9 out of 10 just for the comedy aspect and the premise. I feel like the people who made this had a lot of fun with the source material. If you have any recommendations for me to watch, leave them in the comments. I do tend to watch a lot of trash while ignoring some good ones, like I still haven't watched Dr. Stone, Full Metal Alchemist or Evangelion and so many more.